Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there in the internet world? It is 7:55 p.m. where I'm at on a kind of chilly but getting a little warmer Monday night. I hope everybody else is doing good. This is Primal Instincts, your no Dio hero, and this is episode 2 of my Podrat podcast that I wanted to start. Just to give people something nice to listen to and give your eyes a break. Don't worry about watching what's on the screen. Just worry about listening and let my voice soothe you. Let me carry you to happiness. But I thought of another topic that I wanted to speak about tonight, and I've already had somebody give me a good topic that I do want to speak about in the near future too. And of course, if you guys have more topics you want to hear, just feel free to leave it in the comments. But the topic for tonight that I wanted to speak on, it has to do with the responsibility of being an influencer. And influencer is one of those semi-new terms that they use to describe people like me who are creators on the internet, usually a social media platform, typically, and they reach a fairly broad amount of people around the world who look up to them, listen to them, and respect them. And as a result, they can have influence over the people who follow them because they're regarded so well by them. And having an influence over everybody, of course, is a responsibility, and it's one that I think that people should use for good. Let me just say, because like I said, this is going to be a positive podcast, but all the time. But let me just say that I don't and will never watch any of the drama kind of YouTube channels or anything like that. I don't do gossip news, stuff like that. If you have a platform, if you have a position, I think the proper thing to do, of course, would be to unite people, to empower them, to make them feel good, not use your platform for any bad reason, to go after somebody or share your view on something divisive, anything like that. So I always try to keep my topics positive, and I try to keep my content uplifting, funny, exciting, entertaining. I try to keep it all the good stuff. And the reason I bring this topic up, this is how it even came to me in the first place this evening. I was thinking about some of the awesome things that people in my audience have told me over the years in my quote YouTube career so far. I say career in quote because I'm just some guy on the internet. I'm just a guy who chose a social media platform and who happened to connect, and I'm very thankful for it, with a like-minded community. I started off just doing the whole YouTube with your friends, goofing around with your buddies on YouTube thing. That's what this channel started as. But the audience who found it, while they do enjoy the laughs and entertainment, they turned out to be very like-minded, just like me. And that's ideal for any creator out there, because I like to make people laugh, but I'm well aware I'm not a comedian. And I'm not a professional. I do everything by myself. It's all freelance. It's all 100% pride in being able to do all this myself and just staying humble to the fact that I am basically just some guy on the internet, but I have this amazing following of fans who love me, and they love my content, and they look up to me. And I am especially humbled knowing that these people, I mean so much to a lot of you out there, that you actually support me to the point where I can do this full time. I willingly foregoed working at a part-time job like I did for years after this thing started to take off. I was waiting tables part-time and making it was a good dual income to have between the no Dio hero and having a little side job. But I realized that I wanted to put all of my effort and availability into doing this thing online because of the impact that I was seeing. Just not only just the interest, not just watching the channel grow and just being able to film so many custom video commissions for people around the world and seeing how many people support me on Patreon and who have for so long now. I mean, the whole thing is just incredible to me. But just knowing that instead of simply having a local reach by working at a restaurant, and it's like, yeah, those tables I waited on, those were my people, those were my tables, and I enjoyed making their night out. I enjoyed making sure that they had a great dinner and a great time going out to eat, and they loved me and appreciated me for that, and I made very good tips doing it for the time that I did. But being able to do this online has such a more meaningful and broad reach. I mean, I can reach anybody in the world pretty much with this instead of just a local restaurant. So, and there's also working for myself is a lot more enjoyable than working for a greedy corporation or some jerk boss or something, I'm just kidding. Not all bosses are mean. Some of them are very great. I've worked for some great people in the jobs that I worked. But basically, yes, as an influencer, I am very humbled. And at the end of the day, I have a lot of pride in what I do, but I don't have an ego about it. I am no celebrity. I'm actually glad I'm not. I would never want to be famous like that. Like, I don't want to be recognized when I'm buying groceries at the grocery store or having people follow me around, take pictures. Like, I can't, having people write articles about me on websites like that. Like, I would not want that. I like being underground. I like having a cult following of fans. I like being able to have the impact that I have, because my goal has never been the numbers. I'm not trying to get a high score. I mean, just to put it bluntly, I'm not a kid. I'm not like, yeah, I want 1 million subscribers and 1 million likes. Like, it's not a popularity contest for me. It's not like an ego thing for me. It's the numbers that mean the most are the amount of people whose lives I make an impact on. So many eyes are going to fall upon me in my content, but only some of the people who happen across my content are going to be like-minded and, let's just say, alternative in identity or lifestyle like me. And it's really going to resonate with them more than it would from just like a trendy or general mainstream audience, which is a huge reason why I would never trade my underground cult following position for a trendy popular one. I would never want to be one of those, paid product endorsement people. I want to keep the original YouTube dream alive. I've been filming by myself for a long time now, and that's okay with me. It was a lot of fun doing it with friends before, but I'm still keeping the classic YouTube spirit alive. I don't do the high-end editing or all that. But the point that I'm getting at is, as an influencer, like I said, I have this amazing, sincere following of fans. And they've told me over the years that I've inspired them to change their lives in some way. And the majority of this was all great to hear. It was all good news to me, honestly. But some of the things that were said, I feel like it might be a little misconstrued. But let me just, for example, I am the no Dio hero. If you didn't know the meaning behind that, it means I don't use deodorant, no Dio. That's something that's very unique about me, and for laughs, I wanted to name my channel after it. I am an anti-hero, I suppose, in the eyes of society. going against those hygiene standards. And the reason I bring that up is because I've had fans, usually it's young people who tell me this one. They say that I've inspired them to live a more natural life and not use deodorant or stuff like that anymore, just like I don't. And where the responsibility part falls in, this is what I want to say about that, is I'm honestly glad when I hear people say that. I'm honestly glad that I inspire people to take a more natural approach to life, to realize that, you don't have to cover your body with chemicals and hygiene products in order to be healthy and even have good hygiene. So the reason real quick why I don't use that, in case anybody doesn't know, it was like I was just saying, a natural decision to make in my life. I was actually raised to use that stuff. I always like to say this saying. I think it's kind of a cool saying I came up with. I wasn't raised by wolves. I just grew up to become one. Because my parents did raise me to use all of that stuff. Deodorant, body soap, shampoo, toothpaste. They did their job. They raised me the way that society told them to, the way that they were raised when it comes to that. It's just I started thinking for myself later in life, and I realized I wanted to live a more natural way. And I had actually met somebody, this was years ago, of course, because I haven't used any of that stuff since 2013. I've been no deo since 2013, going on, it was like 11 years now. That's amazing. Over a decade, baby. But I met somebody, this 21-year-old guy, and he didn't use any of that stuff. I mean, no deodorant, no body soap. When he showered, he just rinsed his body and hair with water. When he brushed his teeth, he just wet the brush. He didn't use toothpaste. My mind was blown when he first told me that. And like in the back of my mind, I was like, that's kind of weird, but I was intrigued. And while it didn't connect with me right away, it didn't immediately lead to my own decision. Over time, I just really thought about it, and I realized he was onto something. And the reason I say that, remember when I said I was raised to use hygiene products and I did when I was younger? Yeah. I remember being a kid and like a teenager in high school and using deodorant and body soap and shampoo every day. And guess what? My body hated me for it. But because I was raised and I believed you're supposed to use this stuff, I thought my body was the problem. I thought I just had bad skin, because I would get rashes, itchy rashes under my arm, and the skin on my arms and shoulders would peel and flake off, and my scalp wasn't healthy. I thought that my body was the problem. And I thought back about that, how I used to rub all these chemicals on my body and I had these adverse effects. And I was like, wait a minute. What if this guy who doesn't use any of this stuff is right? What if he's the one who's right and everybody else who's like, no, you got to use this or you're gross? What if they just don't really know the facts? So I started looking up stuff online, and there were like stories of doctors, a doctor who took that challenge to live naturally like that. And he said he was healthier and he was living better. He said people didn't complain about his body odor. He's even got compliments about it. And I was just like, there is truth to this after all. But my curiosity had already been piqued anyways, because of course there's a lot of stuff online that's going to say it's gross and you should use that stuff no matter what. But I took a chance, and one by one, I stopped using those kinds of products. And to get back to the topic of this podcast, now that you know why I did that, I've had people tell me that I've inspired them to live the same way. And if people want to live more natural, healthier lives, I totally support that decision. And I will proudly say, I'm happy to be the one to open your mind to that, or to give you the courage to live that way. Because somebody else opened my mind to it. I don't know if I ever would have made the decision had I not met that person. that was a big inspiration to me. So for me to be able to pass that on to other people, that's awesome. Especially, like I said, these are usually younger people that tell me this. Like I've had teenagers, like teenage boys will tell me, you inspired me to live without this. And that's especially cool because I didn't get that early of a start. I tortured my body as a teenager with deodorant and body soap. I had red, itchy rashes under my arms. I'm not joking. And I tried 2 different deodorants too. I tried the cold, wet, clammy gel kind of stick, and I tried the chalky, dry one. And they were both awful. Because, I mean, nothing feels worse than having this wet, cold, slimy stuff under your arms all day, especially when it makes you itch. And that flaky powder stuff, that stains your shirts and it looks nasty. I mean, no. I don't, I would never go back to that no matter what. Let me just say that. And to hear other people be inspired, especially at such an early age. Now, of course, if you still live with your parents, you might get a little pushback from them because you live in their house. It's their responsibility to raise you, and they're going to tell you, like, I don't want you to stink, especially because in adolescence, you will tend to smell a little more because you're going through that growth phase of life. So be forewarned of that if you're going to venture into that at that early of an age. But I'm glad when people tell me this. That's what I'm getting at. I'm happy to inspire people. I'm not trying to inspire people to be gross. I'm not trying to get people to like be vermin in society. And that's why I use the rat label about myself as a joke. It's like, oh, yep, he doesn't use deodorant. He's a scourge. But that's cool. I like inspiring people to live more naturally and more healthy and to live by what they believe in. Because if you don't believe that you should use that stuff and you don't like using it, but you only do it to appease whoever, live for yourself. And I'll just leave it at that. But at the same time, I have gotten some messages before from people that they're like, you inspire me to just never shower. And when I read that, I'm like, oh, I never told anybody out there to never shower. I don't want to be quoted on that, but I'm also not going to tell people how to live their lives and what their definition of hygiene is. But just to clarify for the record, I don't use those products I mentioned, but every other day, not every day, I think that's overdoing it, even with only water. Every other day I do step in the shower and I rinse my whole body. I rinse my hair out, I rinse all my body off with water only. And I dry off with a towel and that's it. That's a shower for me. And I got to put quotes around that because I'm not actually washing anything. I don't wash my body. The only thing I wash is my hands. And I really hope people pay attention to that too. All right. I do wash my hands. I buy clear, fragrance-free, soft, antibacterial soap that I use every day, several times throughout the day on my hands. Okay. You do want to wash your hands. You do want to be clean and healthy because it can spread germs. You can get sick. You can get other people sick. It's very easy to prevent that just by keeping your paws clean. So let me be a responsible influencer and put emphasis on that. I wash my hands with soap. That is the only body part I wash with soap though. And I don't put anything else. I don't use shampoo or conditioner, deodorant, like I said, no body soap, no body wash, no toothpaste, no mouthwash. I do floss my teeth though too. I like the minty flavored string floss. But yeah, I could not live not ever showering, especially because I don't wash my body. I've known people that they would only shower like once, maybe twice a week, but they vigorously scrubbed with soap every time they did. So that would just totally wipe out the bacteria on their body, and they would be able to go several days without even stepping foot in the shower before it would like come back and they'd start to smell, I guess. That's why they can get away with that. If I only rinsed my body once or twice a week, I would smell too foul. I would not be able to go out in public. And again, my point of being the no deo hero is not to gross out or offend people, because I've had a lot of people tell me, when I do maintain rinsing only with water every other day, and I don't use deodorant, people actually, they notice my smell if they get close enough, and I've had people compliment it. I've had people tell me they're indifferent about it. I've had people playfully tease me about it. I've had compliments, and I've even gotten admirers, both male and female admirers, because they thought it was romantic. They thought it was masculine and manly. And you know what? They're right. I agree with them. I think it's a very masculine trait to have, to be a man who actually smells like a man while still maintaining good enough hygiene. So the goal of the No Deo Hero is not to preach bad hygiene. It's to preach natural, healthy living. I'm all about that natural living. That is why I was given the nickname Primal. Primal in stinks, spelled like you stink. That's the joke of it. One of my best friends I had in life, who was featured on the channel early on for years, T-Rex, he gave me that nickname, and that's why. Because of my natural lifestyle, and because the joke, because of said lifestyle, he stinks. But that's me being open in myself, and people gravitate towards it, man. Don't be ashamed to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be who you are. You will stand out from the crowd, and guess what? That's a good thing. You stand out enough, people start giving you cool nicknames, and you might end up on a social media platform positively influencing people and making positive impacts on their lives. And that in turn is a positive feeling for me. So it's like a circle of positivity and love that we've got going on here on the No Deo Hero show with its awesome community. And I'm staying in that circle. I'm never stepping out of that circle. I'll tell you that right now. I'm here to circle dance with you all night. You thought I was going to say circle jerk, didn't you? You probably wanted me to. No, I kid. But other things that people have told me, back to the topic, right? Just inspired them to be open about the things that they like, because that's another core message of my channel. If you pay close enough attention, there are core messages on my channel, and typed on my official website, thenodeohero.com. I want everybody to be happy with who they are and what they like, as long as it's harmless. And I do need to put emphasis on the as long as it's harmless one, because as we all know, there are people out there who are into things that are either harmful to them and or harmful to other people. And I am not encouraging or enabling any of that kind of stuff, just to be clear. As long as it's harmless, if you have any heightened personal interest in something, if you have this imprinted fascination, if you outright have a kink or fetish, whatever it is you have, as long as it's harmless, own it, baby. Don't be ashamed. If it isn't hurting anybody, there is absolutely no reason you should feel any pain yourself inside. You should not feel shame or fear, but asterisk, unless being ashamed and humiliated and embarrassed is part of what you like, which is completely okay, because that's harmless too. I just want to put that out there, because I know some people are like, well, what if that's what I want? I know. I see you. I see you out there. I know you exist, okay? As long as it's harmless, you're good, all right? Yes, we still live in the same society that even though progress is being made and more people are fighting and getting rights as time goes on and being more comfortable in their skin and being able to put their identities out there, there are still stigmas that will unfortunately probably always be around. There's always going to be judgment. There's always going to be teasing. There's always going to be intolerance and a lot of misunderstanding. But don't let that prevent you from being you. I mean, look at me. I shamelessly and proudly speak truths about myself. I am incredibly open. I'm like an open book. And one day I seriously want to write a book about my life. And I'm going to talk even more detail about me and the interesting life I've lived my entire life so far. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff and I haven't even scratched the surface in terms of talking about it in vlogs that are on my channel. And I got this podcast now, and it's made for talking. So let's start letting some of that, more of that truth and story time trickle out of me on here. Just get me on the mic. Like I said, I'll be an open book. It'll be open vlog mic night here on Primal's Podrat. But that's very important to me. I wasn't always comfortable in my skin, guys. So for anybody out there who's still like deep undercover about their identity or, secretive and ashamed about what they like and they don't want to feel that way about it, listen to this. All right. Let me empower you. Let me lead you by example because I was once like you. Just like as a kid, I used hygiene products. I tormented my poor body. But then I realized that life was better for me without them and I stopped. And when I was a kid and like in high school too, I didn't fully understand my identity. It was very confusing for me. I dated girls in high school, but I also had feelings for some of the guys as well. And I did try to like experiment my identity a little bit in high school, but it didn't really go anywhere as far as like with guys until after high school. So I had a late start on that too, I guess you'll say. And I really want everybody out there to know that there's no time like the present as far as living your life and being who you are. Confusion is one thing, but hiding, lying in shame, you don't want to do that. Don't pretend to be something you're not for any reason. All right. Even if your parents don't approve of it, that's tough. They came from a different generation, or maybe it's religion. Somebody's religion says it's wrong. You don't have to listen to that noise. That's wrong. Okay. You are who you are, and that's what counts. It doesn't matter what anybody's organized religion says. Even your own parents, if they don't understand you, they might not. My parents know I'm asexual. My parents know I've had bisexual romantic encounters. They know all about me. They know that this is what I do to make a living. That I have this community of people that I've filmed videos for and try to be the best role model for that I can. And that they know that I sell my own clothing as merch. And they're very supportive of it. I mean, like they both said, they may not completely understand it, especially with it being an internet thing. But they support it. They say, as long as it's not illegal, as long as you're safe, and as long as you're having fun. And I said yes to all of those. Those all apply. So they're cool with it. And even if they weren't, I'd still be here doing it. But it makes it all the better that they are. But you guys, you don't need anybody's approval. All right? You need to approve yourselves. You need to validate yourselves. Whatever your identity is, if you're transgender, if you're asexual, if you're still not quite sure what or who you are yet, but you're trying to figure it out. And like I said, I understand the struggle. I understand the confusion. I went through it myself. I'm here for you, and I relate to you, and I understand where you're coming from, and I will continue to put my effort into using this platform for good in doing this. Sure, you will still see videos of me acting like an alpha master douchebag because people love that, and I love that people love that. And I have been a rascal all my life. I can be a little bit of a bully sometimes. I've teased people all my life, even though I've been picked on before too. It's just my mischievous character, okay? I'm a rascal. But I do that for people because I know they like it. And I think that's cool that they like it. So when I'm doing that, it's not ego. Like, I'm not doing this because I'm full of myself. You're still going to see shorts of me when I'm doing my home gym workouts and I'm flexing my muscles. You're still going to see that because I am proud of my physique, but I'm not an egomaniac. I'm not full of myself. You know, I do think I'm a good-looking person who's in good shape, and it's because I have a very strict, healthy diet that I enjoy implementing upon myself. But I'm not full of myself. You know, obviously I'm not going to, if anybody, tries to bully me online, nobody's going to be able to bring me down. But I'm not vain like that. At the heart, I'm very modest. I'm very modest and I'm very humble with this whole experience. And I will continue to be. And that's what I focus on. Like, I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this so I don't have to work for a greedy corporation. Those are incredible perks to have alongside of this. But the real reason I'm in this is because I know from people who have told me within my audience many times over all these years that I am making a positive impact on their lives, that I positively influence and inspire them. And to me, that's the true responsibility of an influencer, is to make sure your influence is positive. There were a couple like live streams and vlogs I had filmed in the past where I was like upset about something and it was almost kind of like giving a lecture. And I ended up deciding to put those on private because I didn't want anything negative getting in the way of all the positive things on my channel. Now, it's not that I regret filming those past videos because I feel like I said something that needed to be said just so people could hear it and understand it. But now that everybody's heard it, I don't need it to stay on the channel for somebody new to come along and see and be like, whoa, what was that about? Nothing's ever been that big a deal. But the point I'm making is I want to continue to be a positive force. And let's go back to the positive influencer role model thing. So I did film a couple shorts recently where I was drinking a beer. And the reason I did it is because I really liked the name of that beer. It was called Natty Daddy. Now, I am not getting paid or was asked to mention this name or anything. Like I said, I don't do paid product endorsements. But just seeing that name, I was like, I gotta try that. I'm a very moderate drinker. I don't like alcohol. I consider alcohol to be poison. Anytime I drink, I think I'm putting poison in my body. I don't recommend it to people. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it makes me look cool. But seeing the name of that and being a moderate drinker, I was like, it's been a while since I had a drink. I want to try this out and I'm going to show it off online because I think Natty Daddy is a hilarious name. And then me being a natural living guy and some of my fans give me endearing names like Sir or Daddy. It's like, you got me with my natural physique. You got me, a Natty Daddy, according to some of my fans, holding up a drink called Natty Daddy. I couldn't pass it up, guys. I couldn't pass it up. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that humor of why I chose to do that, but that's why. I was not trying to show the world like, hey, look at me, I like alcohol. Because I truly don't. It is literally poison. It oftentimes gives me a headache and I'm like, why did I even do it? The only reason I do is I moderately do it because I'm bored. If I go out to a concert or something, like, yeah, man, sure, I'll have a drink. Okay. If I'm going out to eat with family, everyone's ordering a drink. Yeah, sure, I'll take a drink. Just one. I'm not even a big drinker, man. I mean, I weigh between 141 and 146 pounds. I'm a lightweight. I eat really healthy. My body wouldn't let me be an alcoholic. So I'm very thankful for that. But just to clarify that too, okay? I don't think drinking's cool. I'm not trying to put beer, because I've also posted shorts of me at like street festivals and events, and I'm like walking down the street drinking a mimosa, the first mimosa I ever tried, and I'm just putting it on the internet as a record. Because this channel is also kind of like a video journal for me throughout my life. I mean, it represents 9 years of my life, guys. That's a long time. I first started posting videos as, the No Dio show in 2015, October of 2015. So 9 years. It's a long time. So you can go back and see those videos and just see me over the years and where I've lived and who I've known and all the fun stuff I've filmed and all the vlogs where I get very open about myself. And I know that when I do that, it helps other people with themselves. And it just makes them happy to hear it. Like to have another voice out there, an alternative voice. Because I'm all about the alternative. I mean, look at the haircut I give myself. It's kind of like a mohawk undercut thing. I don't spike it up. It is a mohawk, but it's what a mohawk looks like when you don't put it up with gel or anything. It just sits flat. But my alternative identity, having the interests that I have, I'm just very open about the whole being an alternative human, the one that I truly am, and being proud of it and owning it, encouraging everybody else out there too. Because I've seen from my audience, like I've had fans and patrons who are transgender, a lot of fans that are gay, bi, asexual, into the same things that I am, or they have their own things that they're into and they can still relate on that level. Like, hey, I've got stuff I'm into too. That's cool. I also like to be open about it. That's cool. I've had so many people tell me awesome stories that even somebody's, after they commissioned me for a video, they got the courage to open up to their friends about what they liked. And their friends were so cool that they started entertaining what they liked with the guy. I gave them the courage to be like, wow, that felt really good. I want to be open and honest about it and see if other people are as positively receptive to it as this Primal Instincts is. Because if you guys didn't know, I film custom video commissions for people. And I don't just limit it to things that I personally like. I don't do it for me, I do it for you. So what you guys like, what you want to see and hear, that's what I film. And that is how I get the financial support to do this full time for a living. I don't have any sponsors except for individual fans, like-minded people who use the opportunity to get a video just from me and end up supporting me in the process so I can continue to do this for more people. I can continue to extend the opportunity to other people around the world and make positive impacts on their lives. Encourage them to live more naturally. Encourage them to just feel empowered enough to be open about themselves and see how well other people receive it when they open up to them about it. Because of course there's a right way to do that. People like to say it's not awkward unless you make it awkward. I mean, yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, I just kind of put it out there what I like. I don't just I don't just go up and just blurt it out to people, or I don't make it really like creepy or anything like that either. It's just, yeah, I like that. That's just the way I am. I can't really change or control it. And people are like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's not hurting anybody, so it's not a big deal. And you're my friend, so I'll do it for you because I know it makes you feel good. You see? That's how that works. You put the right energy out there, you will get it in return. And yeah, you might get some people who judge you or tease you about it. But here's the thing, guys. Oftentimes, when people make fun of other people for things that they're into, you have to understand, a lot of times it's because they have stuff that they like that they're struggling with, that they don't understand, or they don't want it to apply to them, or they're ashamed of it and they try to keep it hidden and buried. And just seeing somebody else be so happily open and proud about it, it makes them feel like less of a person. It makes them feel weak. Like that person gets to be themselves and they're loving life. And meanwhile, they've got this, just to pull an example out of my head, this straight male Christian image that they have to upkeep. They can't let anybody know that they might have some sort of personal interest that arouses them that could be seen as different or weird, or they can't let anybody know that they've once had a fantasy about one of their male friends when they're male. They have an image to keep up. You see what I'm getting at, guys? I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, because we shouldn't make fun of people like that. They are struggling. Just like we have struggled to understand ourselves, to understand our identities, those folks are struggling too. They are having problems accepting who they are and what they like, because they were raised and indoctrinated sometimes into believing it's wrong. And of course, that's wrong, to try to tell somebody that being themselves is wrong. But they still struggle with it. They need help just like we need help. Yes, I know some of it is just outright intolerance and, taking anger out on innocent people that don't deserve it. But there are people who are struggling with themselves, and it's really hard for them to accept it. They may never accept it in their life. So just be glad that at least we did. Okay? We're at least there in life. We know who we are, we know what we like, and we willingly accept it, and we love ourselves for it. If it's not hurting anybody, where's the hurt? Literally. It's not, if it doesn't hurt anybody, there should be no hurt. You shouldn't feel hurt about yourself, and other people shouldn't cause you hurt, because you're literally not hurting anybody if it's harmless. So there's that as well. But being a positive influencer is my goal. Yes, money makes the world go around, and I do have bills to pay. So, of course, the financial support I get is extremely helpful, and the reason why I'm able to continue doing this. But the real reason I do it is from the heart, because I know I have a lot of empathy for people, and I always give the same respect that's given to me. I return the energy that is sent to me. So when I get people reaching out to me and being loving and caring and respectful, they're financially supporting me, they're relating to me, and I can tell sometimes too that the people that reach out, they're nervous, because it's like they like this, but they still might be struggling with the fact that they like it, and they certainly don't want anybody to know that they're commissioning some guy for a video of it or something like that. I can tell, some people are like real discreet and shy, and I completely understand why. And I don't ever judge. I don't judge anybody for their video ideas. I don't judge people for their approach, as long as it is kind and respectful to me. If it's discreet, I understand. I get it. I struggled with my identity too, guys. I was confused, and I was very guarded about it in my youth. But I'm an adult now, and I don't care what anybody thinks of me. If they want to judge me for it, they're like, yeah, you really are a gross rat, and you probably stink, and it's probably better that you don't work at a restaurant anymore and be around people with that kind of hygiene. I'm pretty good with self-deprecating humor, aren't I? That doesn't matter. You know what matters to me is the impact I'm making on my community, my like-minded legion of fans. And I send the same love back to you guys that you send to me. I submit the same respect that you guys submit to me. And I appreciate all the love and admiration. And I do want to apologize to some people, because YouTube has a new AI-generated, automated comment moderation system. And it's been hiding a lot of comments that I'm seeing. I mean, some are probably getting completely ghosted without even being printed. But there's comments that I'm not getting notified about, and they're being hidden behind the new comments only toggle menu. Like, YouTube videos are generally set to display what they call top comments only. And you have to go in and toggle it to newest, sort by newest first. There are comments that will be hidden unless you do that. And it's because YouTube's system has detected them as possibly being hateful or inappropriate or something that could violate the guidelines. And sometimes when they do that, they're not bad. I mean, they contain terms that are setting off the system, but they're not using them in a negative way. You know what I mean? They just happen to write a certain word, and the system's like, oh, nope, can't have that one publicly visible. We're going to hide that one. Or sometimes it's just admiration, people expressing their love and admiration for me, and YouTube, their system thinks it's like an inappropriate, like an adult comment or something, and it does the same thing. It hides, it doesn't notify me of it. It doesn't even display it in Creator Studio. When I go in there and I go to comments, look at all comments, and it always shows the newest ones first, it's not even there. You really have to go into the video, toggle that to newest first, and see if there's anything that was hidden. That's a very tedious thing, and that is exactly YouTube's thought process in doing it, I'm sure. Like, we're going to leave these comments here that are probably not good, because that way it'll still add to the search and discovery and interaction with the user's video, but they're really going to have to go out of their way, and so are other people, to see that comment just in case it's bad. And I'm not faulting YouTube for it, because I honestly applaud them as a company for taking action against comments, because YouTube has had some pretty bad comment sections and people taking advantage of that and just being mean to be mean or whatever. So I'm glad that they're doing that, but I'm sorry if some comments might be getting falsely swept up in it at the same time. So just know that that's what's going on. I appreciate all compliments and kind words and admiration. Whether you're complimenting my sense of humor, my physique, individual body parts of mine, I appreciate it all. So just know that, all right? I want to make sure that that's known. But I think I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. The first podcast was 30 minutes. This one's we're going on 47. It's getting close to an hour. It felt really good to talk about that. Like, it honestly feels good when I can have these kinds of discussions, to just really put my core message out there and speak from the heart and let you guys know. Because like I said, this is not an ego thing for me. This is not a fame thing for me. I'm not famous. I'm not a celebrity. I'm literally just some guy who is proud of who he is and enjoys being open about himself, and is just humbled to know that so many people who have found me resonate and relate. And just to have that kind of connection with you guys, especially from all around the world, of all ages, different genders, different identities, different interests that you have. Just the opportunity I have to be on this platform and use it for the good reason that I do, that means the world to me. And I would never trade that for fame or a whole bunch of money or anything. I make a moderate income doing this full time. It is enough to pay my bills, and it gives me a little extra too. And that's all I need, man, because the impact I make on people is worth more than money. The things that I can do for people just by being myself and helping them be themselves and make healthy decisions for themselves, that's priceless. That's what really counts to me. That's why I'm really continuing to do this. That's me speaking from the heart. So I sincerely thank all of you guys for your part, taking time to watch the videos, taking time to leave a comment if you have the time. I understand not everybody has a comment. I rarely leave comments on YouTube videos myself, so I understand. Not everybody has to. When you like the video, I see how many people like the video. You don't have to do that either, but it's nice to know that it's a way, if you don't have anything to say, you can just click that thumb up, and that's just saying something without words. Like, hey, just letting you know, I liked seeing you. I'm just happy to see a video from you. I just want to send you my love this way that I can, because that's not, hopefully I don't jinx it, but that's not something an AI-generated automated system is going to hide or mistakenly, remove. So however you guys want to do it, and everybody who supports me on Patreon, that means the world to me too. Just the overall interaction, man. The whole experience, all the custom videos I get to film for people, and like the ones that they give it a try and they love it so much, and we make such a cool connection by doing that. It just becomes a long-term thing. Like there's people that I've been filming video commissions for off and on since the very beginning. We're still in contact. They come around for more, and sometimes it'll be like the same scene. And I'm totally cool with that. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, your favorite scene coming right up. I love it, man. I really do. I get so amped over it. It makes me so happy. Like I don't look at this as work. I don't look at this as a job. This is fun. This is a good thing. It's positive. And like I said, I could care less if anybody out there doesn't understand it or thinks it's weird. That doesn't matter to me. I mean, I proudly told everybody I knew, everybody I worked with, everybody that I became friends with. I told everybody about the channel. I invited people to be a part of it. I had no shame. There was nothing for me to hide. I was just being open and proud, and everybody has always applauded me for it, both online and in person, and encouraged me to keep doing it. I've never had a negative reaction. I've never lost a friend after they looked at it. I've never had somebody just look at it and just avoid me like plague or look at me like I'm a creep. Never, ever, ever. It has only strengthened. It's actually piqued some people's interest and made some people want to hang out to me and get closer to me. Real talk. So that's my message, man. I'm here to be a positive influencer. I chose YouTube as my platform for a reason. I'm not an adult star. I film video commissions for people, and I am very open and understanding and not judgmental with my fans and what they like to see. But I did choose YouTube for a reason. I want to reach a general audience around the world. Because like I said, even young people reach out to me and they're like, Primal, you inspired me to live like this, or you inspired me to do that. And that's awesome, man. To let you know that there is somebody else out there like you. And I want to continue to be that voice, that leader, and that influencer to all of you and continue making the impact that I do. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here after 9 years. And I'll continue to do this for as long as I can because this has become my life. Like this is life for me. It's a huge part of it. I always put time and effort into it, and I do it all by myself, and I'm very proud to do that. I get so many emails from people like trying to offer me their paid services. Do you need a custom thumbnail creator? Or, hey, do you need a video editor? I can edit your videos for you, and I can put fancy effects in them. Or, hey, we're a new startup company on Amazon, and we want to send you a free product so you can tell all your fans how great it is and get them to buy it, and then we'll pay you a little commission percentage for each sale. And I just delete all of those without responding because that is not why I'm here. That is not why I'm here. I am not to be bought by a company. I am not going to become property of a marketing team. Like a lot of the famous YouTubers, they're owned by marketing teams. They sell their soul, their name and their image, their video catalog, to this marketing company that gets them famous and gets them all those mainstream comments and the stuff that you typically see on the big name stuff. And they just become property of those companies. But I'm going to keep it punk rock. I'm going to keep it DIY, just like my haircut that I do myself. I'm going to keep being me, and I'm not going to let any greedy companies influence me. They can't influence the influencer, okay? They're trying to use influence in a bad way. I am over here using it for a positive way, and that's how I'm going to continue using it. So that was my point for tonight. That's what I decided I wanted to share. And I hope you guys, I thank everybody who had the time to listen to this. If you had an hour that you needed to get past, either you're bored or maybe you're feeling down or you want to give your eyes a break from the screen, I hope you enjoyed listening to my voice and this podcast tonight. And this is something that I want to continue doing in between my regular content that I've been filming. So feel free, if you want to get a custom video commission from me. My email is thenodeohero@gmail.com. My Patreon, which is patreon.com/thenodeohero, if you would like to become a monthly supporter on there. You do get to see private posts that I regularly share. And depending on the tier that you join, you can also see all the past posts that I've made as well. There's like 9 years worth of stuff on there. And it all helps a lot. All the support does. If you live in the USA, you can buy clothing from me that I've personally worn. I do sell t-shirts, shorts, socks, my shoes when I'm ready to get new shoes. But I can always sell anything else, shirts, boxers, shorts, socks, like I said. Just let me know. I can only ship out to fans in the USA, though. And on my website, thenodeohero.com, there's a tab for extras. Those are behind-the-scenes videos that you can purchase access to. And right now, they are still only $10 each. That is I lowered the price a while ago, and I've kept it that low, and I will keep it that way through the holidays. But in case after the first of the year, I do bring it back up a little bit, they are still $10 right now. There is hundreds of videos. There's a written description of each one, each titled entry, and there are screenshots, several screenshots from each one too. And it's over the span of the whole channel. It's like 9 years worth of behind the scenes videos, like all commission ideas that I and when they were around, my friends and me together received from fans that we were hired to film. And they are now available to be watched for just $10 each. So if you want to purchase access to those, or commission me for a video, or purchase my own personally worn clothing as my unique style of merch to my fans, send me an email at that address, thenodeohero@gmail.com. I love having this direct collaboration and interaction with you guys. I don't use any third-party sites. I don't list my clothing on some like clothing resale website. It's directly through me. You email me, you tell me what you'd like, you send me the payment, I wear it for you. I personally put it in a bubble mailer or a large box if it's shoes. And I go to the post office and I mail it to your address. I do it all myself, and I take pride in doing it. I respond to the emails myself. I film the video commissions myself. I do all the editing. I created and continue to update the official website by myself. I operate the Patreon and post on there all the time myself. And like I said, it's become my life. And let me tell you guys, I'm living the good life because I'm living it with you. I am living the life of Riley because you guys are a part of it. And hearing what I do for you guys in your life, it means we're all living the good life together. And that is why I will continue to be here for you guys as your No Deo hero. So thank you for listening to episode 2. It is now 8:53 p.m. and we're getting close to an hour. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and thank you again for 9 years of support. Whether you're a new fan and listener or you've been listening for a long time now, I greatly appreciate it. I love all of you. I return all the love and respect you give me. So be safe out there, be well, be yourselves, and be proud, because you know I will be. So thanks again. You guys have a great rest of your day or night, whatever side of the world you're on. There will be more episodes like this on Primal's Podrat, and there will be more uploads on my channel. Be sure to watch, because I do upload a lot of short videos, the YouTube shorts, and I will still upload the long form videos too. But the shorts, they're a lot faster and quicker to do in the moment, and they don't require editing on my computer and rendering. So I post a lot more shorts, and it also goes to the shorts feed, so people that are on YouTube at the time are able to watch them, so they tend to get more views because of that. I know all my subscribers You guys have a lot of channels you're subscribed to. You're probably on a lot of different social media platforms, and YouTube's the only one that I'm on. And you've got busy lives. You don't always have time to check YouTube for new uploads and watch all my videos, and I get it. But just know that I do that. Podcast, long form videos, and shorts. And I make those community posts too, where I'll put pictures and just written messages. But that's it, guys. I'm done for real now. Thank you for listening. I love you all. Stay true to yourselves, and I will speak to you again soon.